up, Dallas? It's your girl Rachel. We have another fabulous guest on my show, Miss Aisha. How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. I cannot complain. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, for all of our viewers out there, we have met before at another event. So, shout out to Cynthia Ferguson from the Wolfettes for making that connection for us to be able to be talking right now. So, this is amazing. So Miss
Yes.
Scott has so many things that she's doing. I'm just gonna read a little bit from her bio because I'm impressed. So Miss Scott, she is a passionate advocate for girls and young women. She's got multiple awards. She's Trailblazer of the Year, volunteer, philanthropist. Girl, your list just goes on and on.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So tell me a little bit about your organization and how you got started doing this.
First of all, I want to say again, thank you so much for having me on the show. I am all the way me right now. I am just getting off of work. I am also a hospice nurse, I am very passionate about what I do. However, I started my business because of me, my own story. I lost my mom at 10 years old. I'm originally from Gary, Indiana. I moved from Gary, Indiana to Woodland Hills, California as a young girl. I wasn't even a teenager yet. When I moved to California, I moved to live with my mom's oldest sister and my uncle. And the relationship in the beginning was very different. I've never been in a situation like that before. And I went through a lot of depression, self esteem. I was still grieving, and I really didn't have the confidence in myself that I needed at that age. My aunt, she did all she could. She put me in everything from piano lessons to ballet. I was very, fortunate to be able to move my environment. So, a little bit about how I started DBF is that I was living in a two-bedroom, one bathroom apartment with my two kids, and I got this vision. God gave me this vision in my sleep. He said, this is what I want you to do. I always had it on my heart to work with girls, but I just didn't know how and, how it was going to, happen. So when I started Divas Build Futures, and by the way, Diva stands for Determined, Intelligent, Virtuous, Ambitious Girls to Young Women, which is basically the story of my life. I had to really become determined. I had to really become the girl that I'm teaching today. Like, I had to literally
Mhm.
become her. But it didn't happen just overnight. I started my organization and I still was going through stuff. So my goal is to not only empower youth girls, but also push them to change their environments, put them in different environments that can help them grow and become better. And so that's a little bit about how I started. Divas Build Futures is 11 years old. So this year we will be celebrating 12 years as an organization. Yes, thank you so much. And Her Homes Housing and Resources was founded in 2023, right after COVID, when I was basically taking girls in my home personally. They were coming living with me. And I started to kind of like get some resistance from it. So I just started praying. I'm like, okay, God, I can't leave them on the street. And so what he told me is that you're going to birth something that's going to save them, that's going to help them, but it's going to be separate from my personal life. Because one thing I've learned is that we have to be examples. We can't jump out here and say we're going to help somebody if we're not really in that place to help them. So I was
Right.
still going through stuff and, dealing with, my ex at the time. And, that's a part of my story too. But I'm engaged now.
Mhm.
So I am working on that. But I started Her Homes Housing and just to basically be able to house them and put them in a program that can help them not only stabilize them but give them the mindset that they needed to go to the next step. So that's what we're
Mhm.
doing now. We are actually in a campaign right now raising $2.5 million dollars to purchase a home in Anna that we've chosen. It's a 5-bedroom, 5-acre lot house that's gonna be able to house about 6 girls to young women, and that's just the beginning. So,
Mhm.
my goal is empowerment, motivation, trust God, love yourself, and push forward.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love everything that you're doing, being a mentor, but also with this goal that you have coming up to
Mhm.
have this home, this safe place for these girls to go and to nurture themselves and to, embody the part of just, embracing being a woman, but doing it the right way, of course.
Yes, yes.
So,
And then using myself as a textbook. At first I was like, we go through these changes where it's like, am I good enough, to even do this? And God had to show me that I'm great. You're exactly where I need you to be to do this. And so that was also my push, and I have a daughter. So I looked at her and I said, what happens if she needs somebody? I want to be able to be an option for another young lady so that if that ever happens, God will also put that in her path as well. So,
And I think that's great too. Being a role model is so important for these young ladies, especially like whenever they're going through these tough times. Because let's face it, being a teenager, especially a girl or young
mhm.
adult, it's hard. It's tough.
Oh yeah. Oh
First of
yeah.
all,
Oh yeah.
yeah, first of all, you're navigating your womanhood for number one. Number two, you're navigating your self-identity. Number
Hmm.
three, you're trying to mess with all these like hormones and stuff that are going on. You just don't
Oh my
understand
God.
it. Ah, girl. I have girls. I understand what that's like.
It's
So,
it's different.
it really is. So, whenever you're teaching these girls, what has been one of the most impactful moments for you on this journey you're on?
The most impactful moment is when I get a success story that says I almost gave up, but I
Mhm.
kept, it could have been a hug, it could have been a conversation that I had with one of them. And I get a call that say, Miss Aisha, I almost gave up. If it wasn't for your prayer, if it wasn't for you believing in me, I wouldn't be here today. So the most
Mhm.
impactful part of my job and what I do is to see these girls win. That's what I do it for. I do it for God to get all the glory and for these girls to not choose the other side. They actually walk across the stage. They actually become successful wives and not just baby mamas. I ain't saying nothing wrong with a baby mama because I'm a baby mama. I have kids by two different guys and I just got engaged. So my story is poured into my organization. So when I get those conversations and I get those, or if I hear a mother say, you know what, my daughter's doing better
Mhm.
because of the mentoring that you provide, that is very impactful. And it shows me that the Oprahs and the Michelle Obamas and the Ricky Lakes and all the women that came before. I say her name because I just saw a post by her and I was like, you know what? That's my girl. But so many women have paved the way, and I'm so into women's history that I teach them, like, look at oppression. You look at what we used to have to go through in order to even vote or to even like go to the grocery store, to have an opinion. So it's impactful for me to instill that in these young ladies because if they don't have it at home, what's going to happen? Like, how are they going to get it? Like, where they're going to get it from? So my most impactful moments is when I see the outcome, or if I'm in the middle of it. Like, I've been to jails, I've been to shelters, I've had to go to homes late at night because girls were in domestic violence situations. So I've
Mhm.
seen a lot, and I don't even think I've touched the surface yet. I think that's just the beginning. But
Right.
when I see them later and say, you know what? I wouldn't have left, Miss Aisha. I wouldn't have left because I thought that was love, and
Mhm.
then to have that arm to lean on, even if it's a week or a month. Some girls have been with me for years. I've
Mhm.
been mentoring them. They're grown now. They'll call and check in and, let me know, like, oh, Miss Aisha, this is happening. Some of them have babies, but they're paving their own way. They found their light, they found their path. And so that's the most impactful for me, is to see the outcome. And so that's what I
Mhm.
do it for.
I love that. I love that. And thank you for going into explanation about that. But I do want to talk about two things that popped in my head right whenever you were talking. So the
Yes.
first thing I want to talk about is speaking from experience as a mentor. So a
Hmm.
lot of people, they think that when they go through counseling, that just because you have a counseling degree or something like that, that you are fully equipped to handle real situations with these people. But a lot of times we go through stuff and we try to tell these girls not to do it because we've been there before. So can you
Right.
tell our viewers why that's so important to speak from experience on trying to change somebody else's path?
Because you've been through it. You saw what works, you saw what doesn't work, and you saw what would have happened if somebody helped you. So for example, if you've gone through something and you see like another, it's like, okay, so I always use a comparison with that. I always say take a young lady that has two parents in her household. She has opportunity to see both two examples. Then you take a young lady that has one parent in her household, and so she sees one example, so she's gonna find purpose in either, boys, just different influences, social media, she'll
Mhm.
find different ways. So I really believe that as examples, we that's the best teacher. You
Yeah.
can't, some of this is not in a textbook. Most of it is not in a textbook. I've gone to school, I've gone to college. I am a social communications major. I don't even use it for anything.
Mhm.
I work in
Right.
geriatrics. So I
Mhm.
believe that it's the best teacher. I believe
Mhm.
that they need to see it. Some of the
Mhm.
resources that we provide, they take them and they use them. But when they see your story, when they can look at an example and say, wow, Miss Aisha, you went through that. Yeah. And look at me today. I'm still human. I'm still normal. I, I came, some told me I'm not going to reschedule. Something in my spirit said, no, you need to go on and be authentically you, because I'm a diva. Like I would have gone home. I would have did my hair. I would have did my makeup. And I feel like there's a message behind this podcast that someone needs to see me as like who I am today. No nails, no makeup, nothing. This is who
Mhm.
I am. And this is who I am to these girls. I am an authentic woman. I believe in myself. I was not always like that. So I
Mhm.
have to make sure that they understand that it could be a fight sometime. You can
Mhm.
go through things and you can be so hard on yourself that you could stay there. And I was praying last night, and one of my prayer warriors told me, she said, that a lot of people are in a stuck season, and when they see you pick your feet up out the mud, it gives them that, okay, maybe it's not that hard. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
say it's the best teacher, it's the best lesson, it's the best textbook you can ever give somebody, and that's the life experience. And that's just, that's what I teach on. I don't ever hide. If I see something, and I believe that's why God has me here, because of what I've been through. And it's so funny because so many situations that I've experienced are just like me. Like I'm
Mhm.
like, wow, I went through that. I lost my mom, and they're going through depression. If they can't see you come out of it, who are they going to believe? Are they going to
Right.
believe the book that's just words, or a human person with flesh, and they can say, okay, God did it for her, he could do it for me. So I
That
believe it's the
part.
best teacher. It's the best teacher.
Absolutely. And I agree with that 100%. I just kind of wish people would take it a little bit more serious to be like, I've been there, I've been hurt. I don't want you to be hurt, so I'm trying to coach you on what to do different.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
It's the best coach. It's a coaching experience, but it also keeps you in the mindset that every it could happen to anybody. It
And
could
that
happen to anybody. I'm not no better than the next young lady or the next girl. I've just gone through life. I've experienced life, and I was able to get on another path in life. And so that is
mhm.
what I wanna show. So that's why I was
Absolutely
like, I'm just gonna this is the first time I've ever been this,
comfortable.
but it's okay. I this is me. This is who I
Mhm.
am.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love that you come as your original self. Like you're not trying to put on a facade or a presentation. Like people need to know the real authentic person that you are, because I think they're going to respect you more for being the genuine you that you are, more than if you're just putting on a front that,
Right.
I'm founder for an organization. This is what I do. But no, like your experience speaks volumes. It really does. And another topic I wanted to kind of point out, especially for the young ladies out there, is the importance of understanding that being a person in a relationship, it
Hmm.
as a doormat is not love. You said
Yeah.
that a lot of these girls would have stayed in their relationships understanding and thinking that love is love, but it's not when they're being, misguided and mistreated and stuff like that. Can you emphasize why those women need to understand that is not love?
Absolutely. It's not love because anything that can degrade who you are, anything that can take you away from who you're supposed to be or make you feel less than is not love. It's never love. Nothing is nothing is going to hurt you to make you a better person unless it's from God. But that's a challenge. So I'll give you an example. If you are at work and let's say it's busy, you got comfortable days and you have hard days, if the day gets busy and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this no more, I'm so exhausted, that's a challenge. That means that
Mhm.
it's pushing you to become better. If somebody is degrading you and taking you off of the purpose that you are the purpose that you are made to become or you're on, that is not love. Love does not hurt. Love does not hinder you. Love pushes you. Love loves you. Love makes you feel good about yourself. Love makes you feel like you can do it. Love makes you feel like you're on top of the world. And you're a girl, you're a woman, you deserve that. There's no reason why you should feel less than because of a person. Normally, a person they don't have the confidence in themselves so that they have to bring you down, they have to bring somebody else down with them. And understand this today, misery loves company. We all hear that, but what does that look like? It looks like if I'm having a bad day, I want you to have a bad day. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to project that on you. So if someone is putting their hands, if somebody is hitting you, it's not love. They're going to do it again. They're not sorry. That is a pain that they feel that they want you to feel because they cannot come out of that pain. Run, leave them alone, and get as far as call me. We'll
Mhm.
find you somewhere to go. But do not allow somebody to continue to hurt you and tell you they love you. It's not
Mhm.
love. It will never be love. And on this planet and on most other planets, it's not love. Okay. It
Mhm.
is something that you have to understand. Misery is a factor that's it's running rapidly right now. A lot of people have lost their way and they need somebody to be with them. They need something to lean on. If anybody see a strength in you and they know they don't have their strength, they'll do whatever it takes to get you off your path so that they can be better than you and then you guys are on the same level. No,
Mhm.
that is not a good relationship and it's not for you. Run, leave it alone.
Absolutely. I second all of that. Also speaking from experience, being in relationships where they try to degrade you or devalue you or make you feel lesser than.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that. No relationship should ever be
Mm-hmm.
like that. And, this is kind of one of those things where, these women, they don't, they're settling.
Mm-hmm.
They're not
It's that
understanding.
on. Yep, that's
They're,
exactly
they're
right.
they're chasing the thought of being in love without understanding what true love is.
Right.
Um, because they've probably had a hard time learning how to love themselves, which is why you're doing what you're doing. And I
Mm-hmm.
I think this is amazing. But I also want to speak to the young ladies out there because Aisha and I, we are very passionate about you young ladies out there. So if you're listening to this podcast, please understand that God has a purpose for you. The right person will appreciate you without you putting forward some effort like that. So,
Yep.
for instance, now speaking from experience, like if you take away an opportunity for a man to present himself, like say for instance, you're interested in a guy and he's interested in you, but most men are opportunistic. They're
Yep.
going to seek an opportunity to get to you and get what part of you that they want. These are facts, speaking from experience. But if you take away that opportunity from them and you make them work for it, and you make them see your value, and you make them wait, that true character of the man will actually come out.
That's
And
absolutely right.
I just I wish that these girls would know it, but you and I, we stand firm on understanding that these girls need to know that.
Yeah, and let me also add to a partner is going to you guys are going to insinuate each other. You guys are going to you build each other up. A person that's in your life, a boyfriend, a husband, they're supposed to be there as your partner, your helpmate, not someone to tear you down. If you're not able to thrive through a relationship, it's not a relationship you should be in. If you find yourself in a relationship where you think love is degrading yourself, being less than, then you have to second, do you really love yourself? Maybe you need help. Maybe that's an area where you need to be strengthening in. Maybe you need that extra to show you who you are. But that relationship is not going to do that because you're looking for it in all the wrong places. You're looking for love as a companion. When love is a partner, love is a fight. Love is hope. Love is being greater than you are today. So if someone isn't able to bring those values to you, give you the love that you deserve, treat you like a delicate flower, it's not a good relationship.
Hmm. Yes, that right there just speaks volumes. If they don't treat you like a delicate flower, that's definitely not the right one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And all
Because
women don't have to be strong. We weren't all created that way. So don't
mhm,
think that you always have to be strong and independent. We are women, men are men. We have our roles, they have theirs. So,
mhm.
that has to be understood.
It really does. And I think speaking from me and my husband, we have these conversations a lot. We talk about everything. But it's mostly understanding that when you're in a relationship, it's not an obligation.
Mm-mm.
It's not something that you have to do. Your partner should be there building you up, not tearing you down,
Yep.
which is what we keep saying all the time. If you are literally sitting in your bed crying every single night over the guy that you're in a relationship with, it's not the right one.
Mm-mm.
The real person that's for you will be there to hold you and comfort you and let you be your full feminine self.
Yep.
Because he's they're supposed to be a protector. He's
Yep.
supposed to be a provider. He's supposed to be your security. He's supposed to be helping build you up, your partner, like we were talking about.
Yep.
And so some of these men out there, they don't know how to love women properly. They just, like I was saying before, they're very opportunistic.
Yep.
So if you are out there listening, ladies, I hope this podcast reach you somewhere that you
Hmm.
really understand you are valuable. You are meant to be cherished. You are meant to be in a relationship with someone who's going to truly value you. So do not degrade
Yes.
yourself for anyone else out there.
And do not
Ever.
settle.
Yeah, that
Ever.
part. Don't settle. Don't settle at all. And keep your standards high. Keep your
Yeah, and
standards high.
if you ever need to second guess a relationship, it's probably meant to be second guessed. I always tell anybody, if you have that feeling, entertain that feeling. We are
Mhm,
women, we have intuition. Entertain that feeling. If something doesn't feel right, entertain that feeling. Don't wait till it's too late. And then now you have to pick the pieces up off the ground because you knew it, but you went ahead and settled for it because you felt that
mhm.
was something that you needed. No,
Yeah.
don't settle. Don't wait to the last minute to decide it's time for me to make a change. Be
Mhm,
confident. Be confident in yourself and
mhm,
trust yourself to make the next step. And just know God is going to take care of you the rest of the way. Don't worry about it. Nobody on this earth is going to push you harder than you. And
mhm,
those that come along the way that push you are supposed to be coaches, motivators, mentors. They just push you. But
mhm.
you are your best. You are the toughest force. Trust
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm loving this interview. I think some young ladies out there are really going to listen to this and be like, wow, they really said it, didn't they? Yes, yes, we did.
Exactly. Yeah, and so I'm actually keeping it cute because I am definitely a raw mentor. I'm not the type of mentor to just tell you what you want to hear. I have had situations where I've needed that for myself and didn't have it until I got it. And then I'm like, okay, it took that for me. Sometimes
Mhm,
it only takes like, girl, you don't have to do that. You're better than that. And then they'll get it. Some of
mhm,
them, it's like, okay, you know that if you keep dating him, he's going to kill you, right? It can
mhm.
take that because some people need that extra. So that's
Yeah.
what it takes. Sometimes it takes that. So trust me, trust your gut, trust your instincts, pray about it, but don't settle.
Yeah, don't ignore it either at
Don't
all.
ignore
Like
it.
if
Mm-mm.
the signs are out there, but for all you
Yep.
ladies out there, this podcast needs to be reached somewhere to some young
Mhm.
lady out there. But for Miss Aisha, for all the people who would like to reach out to you to be a sponsor, a partner, or to be a part of your organizations, how can they get a hold of you?
So you can reach me. Our website is www.herhomeshousing.org. I am on Facebook at Asha Scott. My personal page, my organization's pages are Divas Build Futures Incorporated and Her Homes Housing LLC. You can reach me on Instagram at Her Homes Housing, at Miss Aisha Scott, or Divas Build Futures. And when you go to the page, click on the link, click on the bio. Please take some time to read my story. Read what we're raising the money for. This is going to be amazing. We're going to help a lot of people and help a lot of people fast. I want to just add this before we leave is that a lot of people don't know this, but the ones that do, great. But the ones that don't, I mentored youth ladies with an organization called Job Corps at North Texas Job Corps in McKinney. Well, the government just closed that program everywhere, all across the world. So there's a lot of homeless kids. There's a lot of homeless teens with no direction. We need to really support this campaign so that we can be an option for these girls. And one day we're going to do something for the young men very soon. But this is a very big passion of mine. I know it's going to work, but I need y'all support. I do. Click on the link in my bio. You can click on me on TikTok, House of Her, but it's in my bio everywhere. And support the campaign, A Home for Her, Keys to a New Beginning.
Absolutely. I just want to thank you for being on my show. I feel like we've had a really awesome conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for taking me like I am. I would love to come back. I would love to update you on some of the things that we're doing. We're getting ready to start our youth camp in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
We have a new etiquette class launching this August. And so I would definitely love to update you, even come on the show with a couple of my girls to just kind of talk to you and tell you their experiences and how they've changed. And some of them could be still fighting. I would love to share that with you and your audience so they can really see what we do as well.
Absolutely. I would love to have you back on my show. Like, I feel like this is not going to be our last time talking together because
No,
this
it's not.
we are sisters and we are connected, especially with the purpose that God wants us to help these young ladies out there. I know there's a lot of struggling teens out there, lot of misguided teens. But
Yes.
if we provide the light for them to show them that there is still hope in their situation, I feel like we've reached our purpose for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you so much for what you're doing and just the podcast that you're holding. She's very passionate about what she's doing. And I love you, Rachel. Thank you again.
I love you too. Please go follow Aisha. Please support her, guys, because this is something that she's really passionate about. And of course, we're always all about positive things in the DFW. So go like
Yes.
and subscribe. What's up, Dallas? Everywhere. Talk to you later.